Hey guys, welcome to this episode of History Saver 1941, and want to thank you right off the bat. We have just hit right up on our 350 subscribers. Now I know some of you guys, you may be saying, well, that's not a lot of subscribers. Well, for me, it is. And I can't thank you guys enough for all of the support that you've been giving me here on the channel. I know we do a lot of scattered content through this channel between ration reviews and veteran stories, World War II living history events, just World War II stuff in general. And well, that's the way I want the channel. I want something that appeals to a lot of different people, and I also want to get as many people interested in history as possible. And that's the reason why we do the metal detecting, the magnet fishing, the ration reviews, the World War II living history events. That's the reason why we do all of that, is I want to help you get engaged within history and maybe get some knowledge in history and maybe get you interested in it as well. So that's the reason why we do that. Now, yesterday, me and Jack went on a little adventure of antiquing. We were looking for World War II period items to add to our collections for living history events, for reenacting, and we found quite a bit of stuff. We had a very cool adventure yesterday and got to meet some very cool people. We didn't get it all documented, but I'm going to play just a brief clip of that for you now. Bless him. What's up, YouTube? We got the Cure Show.
Hey.
History Saver 1941. Got Jack. We have been out antique shopping all freaking day since 7-8 o'clock this morning.
Shoot, 6 for me.
Well, yeah, he got up at 6, drove to my house.
Thank me for my service.
Yeah, thank
antique service.
Thank him for his service, because he's been at it since 5:30 this morning. I've been at it since 6 o'clock this morning. 6:30. Okay, I'm not lying.
Yeah.
But we've been not antique shopping per se, but World War II shopping. We just got done meeting Sidney Phillips. You may remember him as the Marine from Guadalcanal, depicted in the Pacific series. Has the book You'll Be Sorry. Friends with Eugene Phillips, with the old breed. We just left his son's house, where we were buying some World War II stuff. Got some pretty cool stuff. I was able to actually get a couple of things that actually belong to Mr. Phillips from the wartime stuff, so that's pretty cool.
It was just neat sharing some thoughts and having some chats with his son about growing up and how his dad was. It was very moving to hear, just have some first-hand accounts of what a good man this guy was.
Anyway, I have bought a World War II stretcher. I've bought some modern rations, bought some P-38 can openers, bought a hat, I think somewhere right here, yeah, belonged to Mr. Sidney Phillips. So pretty cool that this belonged to him. Jack has bought a ton of stuff. Jack has got wire cutters.
A pistol belt, very cool pistol holster, stuff like that.
Yeah, well, we just decided, like, here, what, 5 minutes ago, that, hey, maybe we should be vlogging this stuff after we've been to, like, 7 places today.
Yeah, after, like, the majority of it's over with, but, you know.
We were going to do a 24-hour World War II or overnight World War II camping challenge tonight, but things kind of changed a little bit on that. So we're going to save that for next weekend.
Pushed out a little bit.
Yeah, we did. We just, you know, we rather antique shop than be pressured for time today.
Yeah.
And next weekend we're going to be doing that anyway. So we figure why do it 2 weekends back to back whenever we can spend some time doing something else today. And as you can tell, the back of the truck is loaded down with World War II stuff. Looks like World War II's through up in our truck right now.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, we got probably what, $30,000 worth of World War II stuff in here.
30,000, maybe 3,000. I don't know about 30,000 unless you got something special.
I'm saying between the uniforms and the equipment and the helmets and the stuff in these foot lockers and the.
You think 30,000?
Dude, I know I got a $1,500 uniform in mine.
Yeah. I think about 3,000, maybe 5,000. Yeah, probably about 5,000.
30,000 just sounds great.
30,000 sounds better.
Yeah, 30,000 sounds great, but in reality, yeah, he's right about $3,000. But no, we've made some great deals, man. Some great deals. And as you can see, we're on the interstate. We don't really know where the hell we're going now. We're just kind of going. So that thing, he's over there for the ride and trying to not let my driving kill him.
Yeah, there's been a few close calls here lately.
No. Anyway, we'll see you at the next place. Peace out. All right, so we're back with you. We haven't had any luck finding any more stuff, have we?
Mm-mm.
But Jack, we kind of stuck, bro. We're kind of stuck, bro. If you guys can see this, they're filming a movie right by us. So me and Jack is sitting here. Jack's on his phone. So that was basically our day yesterday in a nutshell. We found some things, spent half the day just finding some amazing things, and then the other half of the day just searching around, seeing what we could find, and kind of hit a brick wall at the end of the day. But we did pick up some cool things yesterday, and you will see those on this video. And I'm going to show you something that if you were on the old Smokey's live stream last night, we were having a little discussion on Death Wish coffee. So with me adding in the Keurig here in the war room, the mini fridge, of course I've been wanting one for a while. I've had both, I just haven't put it in here, and I finally did that, and it helps with the ration reviews as well. But you know, I got the Keurig in, and I drink a lot of Tim Hortons, but I wanted some stronger coffee because I like really strong coffee, and I wanted some coffee that was you know, military type coffee that was really strong. And I come up with this. This is Death Wish Coffee Company. And let me tell you guys, this stuff is not for the faint of heart. This stuff is extremely strong. If you like strong coffee, you will love this without a shadow of a doubt. Best you can get. You can get these on Amazon. I think Walmart carries this. I mean, you can find them pretty much all over now. And this stuff will wake you up from anything. I mean, it will wake the dead up. If you pour this stuff on the grave, I'm very certain, of course, we'll climb out, because this stuff is that strong. But give it a shot. It's a very cool coffee, Death Wish Coffee Company. And thank those guys for sending me over this. And I'm looking forward to drinking this every day. So thank you at Death Wish Coffee for sending me over these. And like I said, you can find these on Amazon and Walmart as well as other select retailers. Okay, so back to the antiquing. Me and Jack had an adventure yesterday, but I've been having an adventure all month. If you guys look back at the videos I posted earlier this month, you will see that I actually put in a World War II review of just some things we have collected through the month of the beginning of February and last month in January. And it is now the end of February, and I'm going to show you everything I have gotten within just the last 2 weeks. It has been pretty nuts. And let's go ahead. Let's cut to that video right now. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And guys, thank you for all of your support. Alright guys, so as you see, we do have a layout of stuff in front of us. And we've had a very good month. Been getting ready for some events and things. And I will tell you where you can find some of this stuff at, or where you may could look for some of this stuff at. Because there's not companies that sell some of this stuff. You just have to find it at antique stores. But anyway, let's get into this video. And let's start off with the Betsy Ross tea. This comes from a antique shop that I found here close to where I live. And it was just a spur of the moment find. We went in, found this tea box. And it is World War II period. It is Betsy Ross brand tea. And it is produced by the Betsy Ross brand company, and packaged by Plunkett Gerald Grocery Company in Little Rock, Arkansas. So at the time this was purchased, it only cost 10 cents. So very old tea, and we have some tea in here now. That's modern tea. It's Typhoon British tea that we added in, so we can use this at events and actually have tea on the inside of it, and it's a usable item. We also found this really cool period can of Sturgeon Bay cherries. This is red tart pitted cherries, Wisconsin cherries, and the tin is empty, but it is a nice item to put on display for your impression. And these were around the 40s. This is a 41 dated or 42 dated can. So they would have had these, and I just thought it was very cool to add into some of the trash items for display. We also come across some Prince Albert tobacco. Now this necessarily isn't a World War II period produced can, but there's really no difference between the two. And it's just a small item to add to the Foot Locker. It looks really good. So I just picked that up just to have it. And it was only $1 or $2. So, you know, it was a good buy. We also picked up an old whiskey jug with a cork top on it. This is very old, but it's something cool to add to an impression or to a barracks setup to have some trash there. We also picked up another mess kit. This is a World War II mess kit. And this one is a lease company. It's dated 1944, if you can see it right here. But it is a very clean mess kit, complete, and works perfect. So we will be using this one in the field. I'm now up to like 15 mess kits. We also come across some U.S. World War II spoon and fork set. The knife is missing, but you can tell this isn't in the best shape in the world. We're going to try to clean this up and make it usable so we can use this at events. And of course, it's marked U.S. on the handles. So just a very cool pickup. We found that at the same place as the mess kit. And we also picked up a piece of trench art. This is just a artillery shell. I really do not know the date of this because there's no date on the bottom, as you can see, but it is dummied. And I just thought it was pretty cool to add somewhere here in the war room. Not for living history display, just to add to the collection here. Now, we also picked up some original World War II German soap. This is Flamer soap. And you can find these at War's End Shop. War's End Shop carries this. And the cool thing about this soap is it still smells really good. I bought some of this in the past, and I own a couple of bars of this. And I actually used one of these at events because you can find these pretty common. And I just think it's cool to have them, and they still smell really great. They work great, and you could tell the cool German writing on the box. So we use it, dry it out, and put it back in the box. So we're now up to like 4 or 5 original German soaps and original U.S. soaps. We also picked up a reproduction Nestle coffee can from Repro Rations, and I highly recommend these. If you want to use coffee at some events, I easily put instant coffee in here. You can hear it inside, and it's a very cool period correct way to have your coffee. If you don't get your coffee out of this, you can also get your coffee out of K rations. Now these K rations are the Morale Edition K rations. They are later war, so these are around 45, late 44, 45 K rations. But I like the look of them, and I do have some early ones on the way as well, some early war rations. But these come from K Ration Info. K Ration Info is where you can find these reproduction rations, and what he does is he sends you a kit with everything in it to reproduce this ration. It has all of the paper items that go inside, the wrappers, the drink packages, and all you do is reproduce them. Put whatever you want inside of it, seal it up, and then make the rationing. He has instructions on his website at krationinfo.com on how to do this. If you're in the United States, you could pick these up as well at Frontline Crates. Frontline Crates online has his reproduction K-ration kits. You can order those from him. They do not have to come from England that way, and shipping is not going to cost you an arm and a leg. And for any reenactor, I highly recommend K-Ration Info. K-Ration Info is the place to go to get these K-Rations. You can also go to Hogan's Rations. He reproduces them. But I ordered a set. It comes with the breakfast, the supper, and the dinner all in one. And we are set for K-Rations for the next couple of events. Now, another thing I happened to pick up at an antique store is this U.S. visor cap. And as you can tell, it has seen better days. Am I going to restore this? No. Am I going to wear this at events? No. This is strictly for the office and here for decoration and just to have something cool. And this was only $2 is all this guy was asking for this. And I said, you know, I've got to pick that up for $2. And it does not have a name inside of it. It does have the original tags on the inside, as you can see. And this was produced in 44. So this is a 44 dated visor cap. And even though the condition is not great, it's still a very cool piece to add to the collection. Now, one of the things you saw in the last video, but I did not talk about, was this big box. I'm sure you're wondering what this thing is, and I'm knocking down stuff. That's okay. This is an Italian machine gun ammo crate. Why the swastika is on it, I'm not quite for sure. I got this from IMA online. You can go visit them, pick you one up for your own. It is original. Do not want to know why the swastika is on it, other than it could be German, but it looks Italian to me. And I don't know if that was added on later or during the war as a German capture. I'm not for sure. But it opens up at the top, has a little wood piece here, and then of course you have your leather carrying straps. And inside, the cool thing about this was it come with all the original ammo. Well, there we go. It come with all the original ammunition components inside. So all of those blocks are in there, and I will never use those for anything, but I just thought it was cool. It was $30 or so I picked it up. Couldn't pass it by. Thought it would look cool inside of the office here, and that's the reason why we got it. So just to add that to the collection here, we're not using that for events. And then yeah, so I don't know what the story behind that thing is. It's very dirty, I do know that, but just thought it looked very cool. Now to the cool part. You see in front of me two items: a scrapbook that says simply National Defense, and you also see a overseas cap here. This is the original overseas cap from World War II. This is a Army overseas cap. But the cool thing about both of these items is where they actually come from. Where I live really close to Sidney Phillips' hometown. Sidney Phillips, if you're not familiar with him, go back, watch The Pacific, read his book. You'll be sorry. He was a Marine who served in the Pacific Theater of Operations and Guadalcanal, Peleliu. And he was a doctor here in Alabama years after the war. Best friends were Eugene Sledge, and he was a very, very big mentor to me. Well, yesterday me and Jack were out and about, and I told Jack, I said, let's go to check out Sidney Phillips' son's antique place over at Mr. Phillips' property. So we did so, and got to talking to Mr. Phillips' son, who is Sidney Phillips III, and we found these items, and he said this hat belonged to his father. Now, his father served in the Marines, so this would not have been a hat he would have wore during the war, but Sidney Phillips did own this hat as part of his collection, and it's very cool to have this. And just think that someone as famous as him, who served his country so honorably and who was a mentor to me, to be able to have something from World War II that he owned, even though it wasn't something he used during World War II. Obviously, he was in the Marines. This is an Army cap, but it was in his possession and his personal items. So I have a piece of Sidney Phillips' collection here, and this cap means a lot to me. So we're gonna have that strictly for display. We're not gonna be using this at events or anything, but still very cool to have this. Now, the other thing that we found there was that Sidney Phillips' sister, Miss Katherine Phillips, was a very very neat lady, very sweet lady, very neat lady to talk to. She had a lot of knowledge on different subjects. Just a very smart and intelligent individual, and just very giving. She had a great heart. But he explained to me that this is something that was kept, that she had in her possession, and this is basically a daily journal with newspaper clippings and tales about what was going on, starting from 1938, and the first entry in this is January the 30th, 1938, with a picture of President Roosevelt there on his birthday. And then this scrapbook goes with all of these clippings, has a letter here that she written on national defense. I'm not sure if Miss Phillips wrote this or kept this, but she had it in her collection, and I'm sure she did some research with it. More newspaper clippings throughout, ads here. This is all in 1938, and then you start noticing these notes, and it goes all through the book, and it talks about what was going on at that time, what the governments were doing, what was the fear, how were people feeling, what political actions were taking place. And as you can tell, it's just all through this corresponding with these newspaper clippings. And then you find another note here talking about some things that was going on, the Alabamian situation, what the situation was here like in Alabama and Mobile. And then you have U.S. bombers make history for aviation in Argentina. The bombers in Argentina with Lieutenant Colonel Robert Olds, who is a very famous name in military aviation. And she has some writings talking about this. We have the copy of Roosevelt's defense message from 1938. I mean, it's just very neat things, very cool newspaper clippings, and a very intellectual standpoint on what was going on at this time, right before World War II took place, with the bombing of Pearl Harbor in December of 1941. So this is something that is very hard to come across and is very cool. Army bombers span Gulf for first time. So it's talking about the Army bombers here in the Gulf of Mexico for the first time. I mean, just really neat things in this. And this is a true piece of history and something I would cherish forever. And it's just I'm so happy to have a piece of the late Miss Phillips collection in my personal care. She passed away here just a few short months ago. And very nice lady, and very loving and caring about history. And I'm just honored to have a piece that belonged to her and her collection, now going to my collection. So can't thank Mr. Phillips' son enough. He talked to me and Jack yesterday, gave us stories on different things that his dad experienced during the war, talked about him and Eugene Sledge talking, and talked about his dad convincing Eugene Sledge to write his book with the old breed. And it was just a very cool spur of the moment thing that happened yesterday that we were lucky enough to have the opportunity to witness. But with that being said, guys, we're going to move on to the Nivea Cream Tins here, which is our last item. Now, these Nivea creams are quite simple. The German Army had these during the war. The U.S. Army had these during the war. And I was in Walmart the other day and noticed this for the first time, Nivea Cream Men. I haven't seen a tin of it, and I don't know how long. This is a reproduction German tin I got. But I'm going to be putting some period correct stickers on this and have a period correct Nivea Cream Tin. And that's just an example of something you can do to improve your impression and some ideas you can get. Just think about things. Think about how you can make things that's modern, that they actually had during the war as well, be transferred over back to wartime standards. So, I mean, it's just one of the things that you can do to help improve your impression. And, of course, I just offer advice and, you know, offer some things that I'm doing. So maybe it gives someone else some ideas of doing the same thing. But with that being said, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for joining me for this update. We will see you on the next video. We have part 2 of the ration review that me and Jack did coming up on the channel too, so be on the lookout for that, as well as a 24-hour challenge or overnight challenge that we're going to be doing in a full World War II period uniform equipment. So stay tuned for that. Other than that, guys, have a great one. Thank you for tuning in, and until next time, keep preserving history.